The items you will need to inspect and replace a V-belt include a 1/2-inch drive socket set, a belt tension gauge, a ruler or tape measure and straight edge, a flashlight, a pencil and paper, and the correct replacement V-belt. A service manual such as a Haynes will assist in the removal and installation of the belt. The number of V-belts used on a particular vehicle depends on the accessories installed. As each V-belt will drive a particular accessory, such as an alternator or water pump, it is very important to inspect them periodically. We recommend inspecting the belts at least twice a year. We also recommend replacement every 2 years or 25,000 miles. Before inspecting your V-belts, first make sure the ignition key is off and always begin with a cool engine to prevent burns. Locate the V-belts and using your fingers and a flashlight if necessary, move along the belts checking for cracks, fraying, peeling, glazing, or oil contamination. If oil is present, the cause of the leak must be corrected to ensure proper operation of the new belt. Twist the belts and inspect the other side for similar damage. Next, inspect the pulleys for nicks, cracks, distortion, or corrosion, and replace as needed. When replacing a V-belt, the first step is to note how the belt is routed on the vehicle. A quick hand-drawn picture can save some time and frustration when rerouting the new belts. On vehicles equipped with more than one V-belt, the belt closest to the front has to be removed first. Locate and loosen the adjustment bolt on the component driven by the front belt. The adjustment bolt will usually attach through a slotted bracket. Loosen any attachment bolts and move the component to relieve the tension on the belt. Remove the belt from the vehicle. Repeat this procedure on remaining belts that need to be replaced or need to be removed. If any belts are removed to access a damaged belt, now is a good time to replace all of them. This will save having to repeat the same procedure sooner than you may want to and will help prevent a roadside failure. Compare all of the new belts with the old ones to ensure proper replacement. Be sure to compare for proper length and width. Loosely install all of the new belts, starting with the one located closest to the engine, working your way outward. Make sure each belt is routed in its correct path. Using a piece of wood as a lever or using hand pressure, pull the component outward to put tension on the belt. Tighten the adjustment bolt. Be careful not to over-tighten the belt, as premature failure of the belt or component may result. We suggest initially tightening the belt until there is no belt slippage when you attempt to turn the belt by hand. If the belt seems to be too small, do not force it on, as damage to the belt or the component may result. Double-check the routing path and ensure the belt itself is the correct replacement. With the belt installed, finish tightening it to the proper tension. There are two recommended methods to check belt tension. The first method is the two-ruler method. First, lay a straight edge across the belt between the two pulleys. Place a ruler or tape measure approximately halfway between the pulleys and push in the middle of the belt with your hand. Measure the deflection or belt movement. A general rule of thumb is if the distance from the pulley center to center is 12 inches or less, there should be 1/4 inch or less of belt movement. If the pulley centers are over 12 inches apart, there should be 1/2 inch or less of belt deflection. The second method is to use an inexpensive belt tension gauge. A belt tension gauge, as shown, will ensure correct belt tension for increased belt life. If the belt is not tight enough, loosen the adjustment bolt, move the component, and retighten. With the belt tension set properly, finish tightening the attachment bolt on the component. Repeat this same procedure on the remaining belts, making sure they are correctly aligned in the pulleys. Start the engine and visually check the belts for correct operation. Place the used belts in the trunk or under a seat for use in case of a roadside emergency. Drive your vehicle for 200 to 300 miles and recheck belt tension. Adjust as needed.
Now let's review inspecting and replacing a V-belt. Visually inspect the belt for cracks, fraying, peeling, glazing, or oil contamination. Note how the belt is routed on the engine. Loosen the adjustment bolt on the component driven by the belt. Move the component to relieve tension on the belt. Remove the old belt and compare it to the new one. Loosely install the new belt, paying attention to proper routing. Adjust the belt to the correct tension and tighten the component adjustment bolt. Finally, start the engine and check for proper operation.